February 5th marks the 35th anniversary of one of the most memorable angles in wrestling history. An angle that had Hulk Hogan seeing double.
There's two of them?
Yes, the famous twin referee angle with brothers Earl and Dave Hebner that took place on the inaugural episode of Main Event, with Andre the Giant pinning WWF champion Hulk Hogan. It would also mark Earl Hebner's WWF debut. On February 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 35 years to the day, ad-free shows members will get the opportunity to watch back this historic moment live alongside Earl Hebner in our latest premium watch-along event. All $29 level members and higher are invited, and Top Guy members will get to come up and ask Earl questions. Reserve your seat by signing up today at adfreeshows.com.
All right, by now, guys, you know I love talking about old wrestling. What you might not know is it's not my real passion. My real passion is helping people save money. My real passion is getting families out of apartments and into houses. My real passion is getting people's finances aligned so they can retire on time. I hated going to Walmart and seeing the greeter being 80 years old. She should not be working. She should be home. Why is she still working? Because she still has a mortgage. I want to help avoid that for you. The other thing I want to help you with, let's make sure your kids don't get saddled with student loans. If you've got a student loan, why did you get one? Maybe because your parents still had a mortgage. I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm being sincere. There's only so much money to go around. What I want to help you do is figure out where you are right now and where you want to be long term. And I do it at SaveWithConrad.com. I've been doing mortgages for more than 20 years. And during all that time, we've helped tens of thousands of families change their life. I mean, routinely, we're helping our podcast listeners save $500, $600, $700, $800 a month. But more importantly, get them out of debt faster and with cheaper monthly payments. But if you don't think it can happen for you, let me just tell you this. We are not the bank. We don't say no. We say not yet, but here's how. We're going to get you a game plan on how to improve your credit, how to save a little bit of cash, and how to get into that dream house. Maybe you're already in the house, but it would be nice if someday we could put a pool in the back, or one day we want to upgrade to hardwood floors, or remodel the kitchen, or get a badass master bathroom. I can help you do all of that with no money out of pocket right now at SaveWithConrad.com. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket. And if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. Check it out, SaveWithConrad.com, NMLS number 65084, equal housing lender. And hey, y'all, don't take my word for it. Check us out. We've got an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. And as if that's not enough, go look at our reviews. Read them and weep, haters. ConradReviews.com. You'll see more than 1,000 5-star reviews. Our average review is 4.72 stars. Find out how much money you can save. Take control of your life in 2023 by taking control of your finances. We're going to show you how to keep more of your own money. If you've got credit card debt, what are you paying on that? 14%? 28%? You know you can do better. With the mortgage, though, you may not know this, the interest you pay is tax deductible. And we can even show you how to skip your next 2 house payments. So if you can get a lower monthly payment, pay your debt off faster, get a greater tax deduction at the end of the year, and right now, right after the holidays, skip your next 2 payments, buddy, this is the biggest no-brainer in the history of the world. Find out how much money you can save right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com, or hey man, shoot me an email directly, Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com.
Hey guys, Double J, Jeff Jarrett. Need to call a timeout real quick here. I wanted to tell your listeners what I've been telling my world listeners for a while now. It's about all the incredible things happening over on adfreeshows.com.
Looking for classic Royal Rumble content? Ad Free Shows has you covered. First up, honorary DX member Kurt Angle watches back his favorite match of all time against Chris Benoit at Royal Rumble 2003.
Wasn't real smooth. This was a choppy match. It was like we were working for moves. We were working for holds. It wasn't like it was really a clean match, but that's what made it so good. It was ugly and it was choppy and you know, it wasn't like a smooth move that you do all, you know, nice and clean all the way through, or a smooth spot. This match was like gritty, and that's what I loved most about it. It was more of a fight than it was a wrestling match.
For the first time ever, JR watches back the final WWF pay-per-view before he joined the company, the 1993 Royal Rumble, which featured many Hall of Famers and, well, Virgil.
All right, next up, we got the man, the myth, the legend, JR. One and only Virgil.
There he comes.
Meat sauce, the lonely autograph table, the whole deal.
That's him. Virgil's not known for many things. One of them, though, is his penis, allegedly. I don't think it's going to be this Royal Rumble experience, but I could be wrong.
If you're looking for interactive experiences, Ad-Free Shows members joined Hacksaw Jim Duggan live, 35 years to the day of his historic win at the very first Royal Rumble.
In wrestling, I was going way back as a kid. I live in upstate New York, up by Vermont. My dad would bring me and my sisters in Madison Square Garden to watch the circus. So to only imagine, bring my dad, who was my best man, to pull up in front of Madison Square Garden and see Hacksaw Duggan versus Andre the Giant.
Hey, that's just a small taste of what Ad-Free Shows has waiting for you, including a brand new perk, getting to join in on the live recordings of the shows with 4 levels to choose from. See for yourself why Ad-Free Shows is the best value in wrestling today. Sign up now at adfreeshows.com. That's right, sign up today at adfreeshows.com.
The recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
Hey, this is Kurt Angle, and welcome to the Kurt Angle Show. On the show today, we'll be discussing my quest to return to the WrestleMania main event. But first, let me introduce to you my co-host, Paul Bromwell. How you doing today, Paul?
I'm doing great today, Kurt. It's great to see you. And, man, this is a big show today, not only because we're talking No Way Out 2004, but this is the official 2-year anniversary of the Angle Pod, man. Can you believe that?
Yeah. This is great, man. This is a milestone for me.
It's a big milestone. I haven't been here the whole 2 years, but I tell you what, I've had an absolute blast working with you about the last year and a half. And, man, how cool is it to hit the 2-year milestone?
Very cool. And, Paul, I want to tell you a secret. You're my favorite.
Well, I'm glad. You know what? That keeps me employed. And you know what? I just have such a good time with you. Your personality and our personalities just mesh, and we've clicked since day one and just gotten more and more comfortable with each other. So I'm loving it. I enjoy it every week. I look forward to the topics. Watching back your career with you, it's a real treat for me. And it sounds like the fans are really digging it too, dude. I get a lot of DMs on social media that said, man, this is a fantastic show. What you guys do in an hour, really just going over, you know, one event at a time or whatever the topic is, having fun with it and hearing Kurt's stories are an absolute blast. And man, I can't thank you enough for this opportunity.
Oh, thank you so much. I love telling my stories, but what I love even more is having guests on my show, and I think you want to talk to the fans about this little poster we have.
I do, because sometimes we save all the stuff that we put over until the end of the show, but this is an important thing that I want to do show, especially for those that are watching us on YouTube. If you're not checking us out on YouTube, please just click over and subscribe and turn on those notifications. It does help the Kurt Angle Show. But what I'm showing right now on YouTube is a poster that JD Hoop, if you haven't heard of him, you want to find out about him, especially if you need graphic design or artwork. He does a lot now for Conrad with Dave Silva, doing some other things and some other roles for behind the scenes for the shows. And he does a lot of the graphic art now for a lot of the main shows. But he's a friend of mine for a long time, and he designed this awesome 11x17 poster of the guests that Kurt had on in 2021, and Kurt's in the middle there. And this is going to be available at the Box of Gimmicks store shortly. So our merchandise person that helps us with the store now has them, and Kurt has autographed every single one of them. And so we only got a certain amount printed, but we want to make sure that fans of the show are aware these are going to be a collectible item. And so we want to make sure you get your hands on them, but you're going to see everyone from Samoa Joe to Charlie Haas, Rey Mysterio, and Randy Orton. Randy, come on, Kurt, help me.
Couture,
Randy, yeah, Couture. I was going to call him Curnew. It's not Curnew. That's somebody else I used to know, another Randy. But Randy Couture, Edge, and so many others. So check it out.
And my nephew-in-law, John Bernthal, too.
Yeah, there you go. They're all on here. And so check it out. And we're going to have one, too, for 2022 coming out soon. But we wanted to start back with when the guests all started in 2021. So, you know, keep an eye out on that. We'll talk more about it on the show. But I wanted to start with the show, just making you all aware to keep an eye on that coming. Kurt, I love it. What a great piece for someone to add to their collection.
It is. It's a great collector's item. I absolutely love it. I'm going to collect one myself.
There you go. So there's that. And then
my own autograph on it.
That's right. As you should. And it's, you know, something to remember the show of and by. And when you get into your new studio, your new office, which I think that'll be coming down the road soon.
Very soon. Yes.
Yeah. We'll have to, I'll come out and I'll come out and I'll help you hang it in there. So there you go.
Please do, Paul. I need your help.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention before we jump into this week's show, and that is I mentioned YouTube, but we have started a new series. We're calling it From Kurt's Angle. Oh, how do you love the originality of that? But where Kurt is going to predict every premium live event this year in a YouTube exclusive series. Again, these aren't going to be real long, 5 to 7 minutes, where we go through the card and Kurt gives us his thought, his focus, his ideas, his angle on who he thinks are going to win. He did that for the Royal Rumble. Kurt, you got close on some. Yeah, Cody won. Bray Wyatt won. But Ronda Rousey didn't show up to the Ladies Royal Rumble. She didn't win. Rhea Ripley did. Roman Reigns kept the title, but holy cow, the bloodline and the turn from Sami Zayn. Did you get to check out any of the Rumble? And if so, what'd you think?
I thought it was a great Royal Rumble. And I'm not going to lie to you, the women's finish of the women's Royal Rumble was the best finish I've seen in years.
Okay.
Rhea Ripley, the way that match ended was incredible. I was so impressed by it. I have to give the women 5 stars for that match.
Yeah, the head scissors takeover, taking out Liv Morgan from the ring was beautiful, and then Cody, the big comeback, they kicked it off with the men's Royal Rumble, and I loved it, man. And I loved our guy Pat McAfee being back on the him and Corey Graves together are fantastic.
They are. They're exciting to listen to, without a doubt. Yeah.
Both from Western Pennsylvania, both Pittsburgh
Western
boys.
PA boys, that's right.
So there you go. And the stage is set now for WrestleMania, Kurt. You're going to have Cody versus Roman. It's already been announced from Raw. And Rhea has challenged Charlotte. So she wants Charlotte's side. That's going to be a banger of a couple main events.
Without a doubt. I think those matches are going to be really, really good. You know, Cody Rhodes, I'm expecting him to win this thing. I shouldn't be telling you guys now.
Yeah, and we're saving that for the YouTube.
Yeah, I think it's his time. And Rhea Ripley, I wouldn't doubt if she wanted to. She's been up and coming. She's been pretty strong lately. So you never know.
I agree, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. The build to WrestleMania is on, and there's nothing like it, dude. There's just a lot of momentum with the WWE right now, the Royal Rumble. It's a lot of fun. And so we'll be talking about it. And again, make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and you will not miss the Elimination Chamber prediction show. Rumor is we're going to see some Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns action. So we'll get Kurt's prediction there. We're going to have a lot of fun. So again, make sure you subscribe over there and watch us on YouTube. So let's get into our topic, Kurt. We're talking No Way Out 2004 today. We're coming off the 2004 Royal Rumble. You got to the final 3, as we had discussed a few weeks back on the show. You got eliminated by Big Show, and Chris Benoit goes on to win that Royal Rumble match. Did you know at this point that the plan was for Benoit to leave SmackDown? Were you aware of that?
No, but, you know, I think when you win the Royal Rumble, you get the choice of whether you want to challenge the Raw champion or the SmackDown champion. So I'm not surprised he moved over to Raw. I also know at this point in time that they were going to really push Eddie really hard, and they wanted him to be champion. I don't think they wanted Chris and Eddie to go. So, you know, they've had a lot of matches in the past, and, you know, that wouldn't have been that great. It would have been a great match, don't get me wrong, but People have seen it before many
That's
times.
right.
Yeah.
They wanted something new. They wanted something fresh, and that's exactly what happened. The next night, he switches over to Raw. He picks Triple H to challenge him at WrestleMania for the Raw World title. But at this point, the WWE roster is in a bit of a state of flux. Benoit switched. Goldberg, he's slowly winding down his time in the WWE. And Brock, obviously, is soon to be letting the company know, I'm out of here. Are you aware of what's going on? Or are you just showing up to work and getting done what you need to get done at this point?
Well, you know what? I didn't know about Chris. Chris made his own decision. Obviously, the writers made the decision for him, but he was going to go over to Raw. But, Goldberg, I will tell you this. The first time he came to WWE, I have to say that it was mediocre at best for Goldberg. But he did redeem himself a couple years later when he came back to WWE. But I wasn't surprised that he walked out at this particular time because the WWE they were putting him in longer matches, and Goldberg's not, he's not supposed to be in a lot of long matches. He should be in short 3-4 minute matches. And that's what they did the second time he came in. They capitalized on him the way he was wrestling in WCW. But in WWE, his first time, it was a bit disappointing because, they were putting him in 15-minute matches, and you don't do that with Goldberg. You make it short and sweet,
Yeah, he was
Brock, I want to tell you about Brock.
Sure.
He did tell me he was leaving. He wanted to try out for the NFL. He told me before he told the WWE. And I told him, you know what, if that's your dream, then go ahead and do it. But if you leave, you might have to pay the consequences when you come back. And he said, I understand that. So, Brock was leaving to try out for the NFL. And I think he would have made it if he would have went to NFL Europe for 1 year, like the Minnesota Vikings wanted him to. And, but other than that, I think Brock is so talented. It doesn't matter what sport he's in. He's going to be the best at it. It's just incredible.
Which you saw happen with him with the UFC. But to your point, hey, Brock's one of those guys too. If he wants to scratch an itch, go scratch that itch. I mean, you got to do that. You had thought about at some point in your career, maybe going back out and trying the Olympics. Now, injuries didn't let you do that, but you thought about it after you were already in WWE,
Yeah, well, Brock's is a premier athlete. He wants to challenge himself.
That's right.
All the time, and he's always challenging himself. And he'll continue to do that till the day he dies.
Yeah, so if anybody understood it, it would be you for sure, based on your own experience. And look, it all worked out. He came back. He made big money with UFC. He's now making big money in WWE. And that's
money in WWE.
Yeah, he's doing just fine.
He actually became a bigger star.
Right. So if he wanted to go play games and try to see if he could make it in the NFL, you know what? He scratched that itch. And now he doesn't have to play the what if game. Well, let's go on with the story here as far as the build and what happens. Since Benoit's leaving SmackDown, it's time to set up a challenge for Brock at WrestleMania. And Vince McMahon's blaming Paul Heyman. And because of it, so at that first SmackDown tapings in Washington, Heyman suggests there should be another Rumble to determine Lesnar's opponent at No Way Out. So, Kurt, I got to ask you, do you think another Rumble in the same week kind of hurts the original Royal Rumble, or was just one of those things to try and get another story going?
Well, I think it was to try to get the story going. I mean, I know that they had to figure out a way to get Brock an opponent and the number one contender. So they did the Rumble, a Battle Royal again. Did it affect the Royal Rumble? No, because the Royal Rumble was first. So if it would have been a week before the Royal Rumble, that would have been bad. But having it afterward, I don't think it really mattered.
There you go. Well, listen, Eddie Guerrero ends up getting jumped and injured going into the Rumble on SmackDown. Did you know, Kurt, at this point, Eddie was going to begin that big-time ascent to being a top guy for the company? Were you aware of that?
Well, I didn't know at this particular time that he was going to win the title from Brock at No Way Out, but they were pushing him pretty hard. So you knew you were going to expect something good, something great to come from Eddie. He was going to end up coming out of the, out from the bottom on the top. And he did. He ended up beating Brock, and he ended up main eventing WrestleMania. So I knew that they were pushing him hard, and I wasn't surprised.
Dude, one of the interesting things as I saw as I was doing the research for the show and just going back and reflecting on this time period is it felt like you were either a baby face or a heel. There was a lot of going back and forth around this time. And you end up going to Paul Heyman and tell him how bad you feel that Eddie wasn't going to be in the Royal Rumble and that it should be Chavo instead. But were you having a hard time trying to figure out like my place in this world? Because like I said, you seem to be back and forth all the time.
they were flip-flopping me so much, I didn't know what I was. But I could tell you this, and I love the fans to death. You know, being a heel or a baby face, at this point in my career, it didn't matter because the fans still love me, whether they love me as a heel or as a baby face. When I started out, I had some real heat. Fans couldn't stand me. You know, but once I gained their respect and showed that I could really work and, you know, I could be semi-entertaining, they started really enjoying my stuff, whether I was a baby or a heel. But I was flip-flopping a lot, and I didn't know what I was. So I was like a tweener at this particular time, and I didn't mind doing it because there were times when I was cutting negative promos about our country and then positive promos about our country. I didn't know if I was a baby or a heel. They just put me where they needed me.
Poor Kurt's head was spinning, and he didn't know which way he was going, but he'd cut a promo, whatever they told him to do. He was a good soldier. So listen, we get into this. You end up drawing number one, and you dedicate the upcoming victory for the troops. So obviously, here you are. Are you a fan of doing that when you know, hey, you're going to be losing? Are you a fan of saying you want to dedicate it to the troops?
Listen, when you do that, you should win.
Yeah.
You don't dedicate something to the troops, especially when it's predetermined, and then you don't end up winning. I didn't think that was a good idea for me to do.
Do you like that idea in general, though, doing the whole, you know, do you think it adds to the matches and stuff?
Especially for someone like me being patriotic. Yeah, that definitely helps. If I was a baby face or if I was a full-blown baby face and I said that and I won, that would have been incredible.
So we talked a lot last week about Bob Holly. Obviously, the whole show was dedicated to him. It's interesting. I see saw some comments on YouTube and some other places about Bob, and one of the folks put in there, Kurt was so nice about Bob and how he should have been pushed, but let's just be honest, he had no charisma. That's why he was never a top star. So there you go. I'll let you react to that if you want to. You can go ahead.
Well, listen, Bob had charisma at times. You know, I think that Bob was one of those guys that was really quiet to himself, didn't really like to, you know, push himself further or go outside his comfort zone. I think that was the reason why Bob didn't really show a lot of charisma, because he did at times, but he just didn't do it enough to be a top level guy. His work was incredible. His look was incredible. He was smart. He knew the business. He knew how to work in the ring. He had great psychology, but the charisma thing was a little bit of a problem for him.
Would I be wrong to say, was he one of those guys that backstage had the charisma that you just thought to yourself, man, if he could show this out in the ring or out more so in front of the audience, he could really get over? You
know what? At times, you know, he would tell some jokes every once in a while, but for the most part, Bob was pretty much, you know, pretty straightforward and just, you know, tough guy, and you know, he didn't want anyone to see anything else other than the tough guy.
Yeah,
yeah.
Hard-nosed, hard-working dude, and that's what he was.
Yes, he was.
You guys did some hard work in the ring here. We talked about it last week. Big part of the Rumble is you and Bob, but the match itself goes almost 40 minutes. That's a long time for a television match. It's got to be mentally draining to try and do another Rumble and do all this new stuff just a few days later, right?
You know what? It's not as physically draining as it is mentally draining, because you have to remember your spots. You have to remember who's gonna get eliminated.
Yeah,
who's gonna go next. You know what the spot is when the new guy comes into the ring and does all his shine, and then somebody gets eliminated. So just remembering stuff is the hardest part. But being in the ring for 40 minutes or an hour and 10 minutes. It's not as intense as a regular match, because you're selling at times. You're in the corner, you're resting, you're selling, you're getting the guys are chopping wood on you, and you have moments to you know, catch your breath and get yourself well rested so you can do the spots that are coming up.
Well, buddy, you and Eddie are the final two at the end, and Eddie's able to overcome his injury from an unknown assailant, which I'm sure you had nothing to do with, Kurt. But we got the highlights of this Rumble match. It's our first clip of the week. So, guys, you can check it out here. Here we go. Our first clip of the week, highlights of this Rumble match.
In our nation's capital, in the finest tradition of the United States, and in the finest tradition of your World Wrestling Entertainment, we are going to give someone the opportunity, because tonight, for the first time ever on network television, right here in Washington, D.C., Paul Heyman SmackDown will present the Royal Rumble.
corner. Remember, Eddie Guerrero was sent to a medical facility in an ambulance, unconscious, just a bit ago. He's back in his match.
Couple more of those 350-pound rear ends of Rikishi in the back of Guerrero. He'll be back in the hospital.
Eddie Guerrero's here just like the rest of these superstars, because that's what a WWE title opportunity means.
Those title opportunities come very far and few between, but
Eddie Guerrero caught by Charlie Haas.
Look at this! Oh.
Eddie Guerrero.
And he didn't get all of Eddie trying to do a hurricane right over the top rope.
There it is, Charlie Haas! Eliminated by Eddie. Charlie Haas lasted nearly this entire Rumble matchup as he entered at number 3.
Very impressive by Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero.
And now we're down to 6, including the number 1 entry, Kurt Angle. Benjamin eliminated. Kurt Angle eliminated his former pupil.
What a shot to the head by the Big Quiche on Angle. Look at this, Angle slam, no way.
Look at that, Angle slam with a 350-pounder. Eddie Guerrero to the top rope.
Frog splash.
Connecting.
Oh my God.
Who the hell is gonna get a chance to meet Brock Lesnar at No Way Out?
The hell did Angle do an Angle slam if to be in the
Look at this. Kurt Huntley eliminated by Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle barely hanging on.
Angle's in trouble.
Another right hand, and Kurt Angle still hanging on.
Kurt might be playing possum.
Eddie Guerrero, and what a shoulder to the gut.
Knew it.
Kurt Angle saw the opening, saw the opportunity, and capitalized.
I'm just saying, I just think in my view, Eddie Guerrero's not right.
Kurt Angle gonna suplex Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie's going. Eddie's done.
Eddie Guerrero's gonna be eliminated here. Eddie Guerrero just countered. It brought Kurt Angle back into the ring.
And how's he doing?
Kurt Angle eliminated. Eddie Guerrero has got a shot at the title.
Here is your winner, Eddie Guerrero.
Can you believe Eddie Guerrero?
How the hell did Eddie do? Oh man, Kurt's upset.
There it is, Kurt. You and Eddie closing it down. Listen, man, as soon as you landed on your knees like that, I'm like, no wonder the guy had to have 2 knee replacements.
You know what? I didn't take care of myself very well when I was wrestling. I abused the shit out of my body.
The other thing I notice as I'm watching that is one thing that never ceases to amaze me is the skill that the wrestlers have. You guys back in the day, the wrestlers now, when they're playing around on the edge of that ring apron, just barely holding that rope.
And you know, defy gravity. It's incredible.
One slip and it's like you just screwed up everything.
You know what? For the most part, nobody ever screws up, which is crazy.
I know. Well, listen, you guys went 8 minutes before finally Eddie did that move and did that reverse suplex to become the number 1 contender. And you two are one of the first, Kurt, to actually have a little bit of a match as one of the last 2 in a Royal Rumble. So that's just a little nugget of information. You guys are the first to kind of do that. That was similar to what we saw with Cody and Gunther, by the way, this past week. Was that something that you guys just wanted to do? Do you remember talking about that? Because, again, you guys are the first to kind of do that.
Well, we knew that we were going to end up facing each other again at WrestleMania, so we wanted to keep that storyline going by, showing each other that we were trying to outdo each other.
Okay.
And, so yeah, that was basically it.
You guys just had unbelievable chemistry, Kurt. It's hard to have that with a lot of people.
Yeah, we wanted to go those 8 minutes, like I said, just to, further the storyline and show an incredible story of what we can do in the ring and what they're going to actually see at WrestleMania. So I think that was, one of the things that we wanted to make sure that happened.
Yeah, and that's what you said. You guys knew at this point, hey, we're going to be working together at WrestleMania, so let's give them a taste of what's to come at WrestleMania. You're on the road working three ways with Brock and Eddie at this point. How much are you enjoying those matches? You, Brock Lesnar, and Eddie. Come on now.
They were easy, man. Wrestling Brock and Eddie, they're such professionals. Both of them are, top of the line. Both of those guys can go. They were really easy, believe it or not. But, Eddie is so easy to work with, and so is Brock. Brock is as big as he is, so easy to get up. He's such an incredible athlete. So I really enjoyed those matches with him.
Speaking of getting up, you didn't really struggle too bad there with Rikishi, by the way. I did notice that.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm not going to lie to you. He jumped for me like crazy. Yeah,
he would have to.
Quite a bit. Yeah. Well, there's no way I could even lift him off the ground, to be honest with you.
Every time I see that man and you in the ring, I think about that stink face he gave you. So on the next SmackDown, and if you want to hear about it, it's in the archives if you haven't listened, but it was a dirty, dirty stink face. Guys, on the next SmackDown in Cleveland, you're in the main event with Hardcore Holly. You defeat him 15 minutes, Kurt. It's a really good match. And coming off of our episode last week, it's one of your favorite matches with Bob, and we have that as one of our clips this week. It's clip number 2, the ending to that match. Here we go.
Here's Holly going to the top. What's Holly going to do, Cole?
Hardcore Holly taking Angle down with a clothesline from the top rope.
Going for a cover.
Holly's got him here. 2 legs. Kurt Angle just kicked out.
Hardcore's thinking, what do I got to do to beat Kurt Angle?
Yeah, frustration beginning to build for the Mobile, Alabama native Hardcore Holly. Holly again to his feet. Kurt Angle battling back.
I don't think that Holly's frustrated. He'll just counter that Angle slam.
Look at
here comes an Alabama slam right now.
Holly's got him. The Alabama slam.
Good night, Irene. It's over.
Holly hooks the leg.
2, 3.
Kurt Angle got the rope. Got the foot on the bottom rope.
Great match sense, ring presence by Kurt Angle.
I think Holly would have had Angle if it was delivered in the middle of the ring. The Alabama slam too close to the ropes, and the veteran took advantage.
Those are the ingredients that makes Kurt Angle a 4-time WWE champion. And could Kurt Angle or Holly be the #1 contender? We're going to find out because Heyman's going to tell us.
These two superstars are battling to impress Paul Heyman
Full
to go to
Nelson.
WrestleMania.
Full Nelson.
Locked in, and remember, Angle's had a surgically repaired neck, but he takes Hardcore Holly down.
Steve Armstrong out of that Full Nelson. Angle slam.
Connecting. Both men down center of the ring.
If Angle can cover, Angle's going to win it. Angle's got him, I think, Cole.
Hook of the leg, and Holly kicks out. Can you believe this match? This is what a spot in the main event at WrestleMania means to these superstars.
Talk about smacking your TV. This is intense competition. The straps are down. Angle's thinking this is over.
And here he goes. Ankle locked in. Hardcore Holly. Desperation time.
Hardcore's in trouble.
Trying to make it to the bottom rope.
Is Hardcore going to tap? He's rolling through.
And Hardcore Holly reversed it.
Impressive counter by Hardcore.
And look at this.
Alabama slam again.
Kurt Angle. He's fighting through. Flies through. Shoulders down. Reversal.
Beautiful into this
ankle lock again.
How impressive.
It's dragging Holly to the center of the ring.
Holly's screaming in pain.
Hardcore Holly.
Holly's in trouble.
Will he tap out? Will Holly tap out? And again. No. Angle holds on.
The pitfall light. Kurt Angle hanging on and now leg lacing that ankle lock. That's got to be it.
Holly has to tap out. What a fight by Holly. But Angle picks up the win.
Here's your winner, Kurt Angle.
Oh, Kurt Angle picks up the victory. Was it enough?
So there you go. You pick up the big win, Kurt, and then all of a sudden, Paul Heyman comes out right after. Well, let's just play the clip. We have the clip because we need to hear the big announcement. We're building this whole story. Here we go.
I deserve the title shot more than Big Show and more than anyone else back there. And you know it, and I'm going to prove it. I challenge Big Show, and you can make the challenge anything you want in any athletic competition, any athletic contest, you name it, and I will beat his ass. Well, hold on, Big Show. Before you say anything, pie eating contests aren't an official sport, so keep your mouth shut.
Hey, Kurt, I eat pieces of crap like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of crap for breakfast? Sicko.
Say it again. Say it one more time.
Whoa, stop. Please back up. Listen, I understand that both of you have that passion, that both of you have that desire to be the #1 contender for the WWE title at WrestleMania. And I love this passion, which is why at No Way Out, it will be a one-on-one match. And the winner of that match will go on to be the #1 contender for the WWE title at WrestleMania 20. And that match will pit the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle against the 7-foot-tall.
Now what?
Doctor of Thugonomics, Cena.
I think you're right. John Cena was benched tonight by Paul Heyman.
This is basic Thugonomics. Worldwide.
Little speeches on
Yo. It's all messed up now. We got Big Show trying to claim MVP status. You ain't worth nothing, but it's okay. You definitely the fattest. Ah, chill. You're thinning out, man. Your chin ain't that rounded. You're losing weight up in the face, but your ass definitely found it. Oh, yo. Angle, chill over there, Kojak. You don't need to be talking trash. He plays his skin flute so much, he got a milk mustache. And at No Way Out, I'm gonna have you throwing Olympic fits. I'll rip off your title shot quicker than Janet Jackson's.
You put him in that match, Heyman. I'm gonna kick his ass again. You do it. You put him in that match. Put him in the match.
Yo!
I'm not doing it! Look at me. I'm serious. We're on television. I don't.
You see, leaving Cena out of this match is completely insane. That's like cutting LeBron James from the All-Star game. Paul Heyman and the FCC got no brain.
Stop! Now, John, there's no need to continue because I changed my mind. Because at No Way Out, there will be a match. And the winner of that match will go on to WrestleMania 20 to challenge for the WWE title. That match will pit the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle versus the 7-foot-tall, 500-pound Big Show versus John Cena in a triple threat match.
Oh my!
Well, Kurt, there it is. Was there any truth to the rumor here, which Cena's propagating, that during this time period you were beating your Olympic stick to the point that it gave you a milk mustache?
I did it quite a bit, Paul. Maybe too much.
Oh man, what a time period in wrestling!
So good with that stuff. I mean,
he was funny.
He was incredible. Yeah.
And you've done a lot with Big Show and John Cena. Does it ever get boring with those two? I mean, I got to imagine you guys are having fun working together behind the scenes.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun working with Big Show, John Cena. They were both great. I didn't have a problem working with either one of them.
By the way, word on the street is we could be seeing John Cena against Austin Theory, who some very much say reminds them of John Cena, young John Cena, at WrestleMania.
Yes, he does. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I know John Cena's trying to get back at it, and Austin Theory would be a great match for him. It'd be a great competition. It'd be a great test for John Cena, considering he's an in-ring general.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be a lot of fun. Well, listen, the WWE wasn't doing many house shows at this time, Kurt. Do you remember business being down around this time at all, or they just weren't doing a lot of house shows?
Yeah, I think what they were doing was they were taking a pause, trying to save a little bit of money, and then eventually they were going to come back and start adding shows and, go back into full gear. So at this point in time, they did a lot less house shows, particularly.
Well, we have it set. A three-way for No Way Out with you, Big Show, John Cena, and the winner is going to face the winner of Brock and Eddie at WrestleMania 20. Do you know if there were any plans for you at this time if it wasn't you and Eddie? Do you know if there was anything else potentially in the cards?
No. All I knew about was me and Eddie at WrestleMania, and, we're going to be one of the main events. And I was excited about it because it's Eddie Guerrero. He's one of the greatest of all time.
Well, listen, Kurt, I want to pause right now and interject a really exciting product that you and I have been talking about. We started talking about it last week right here on the show, and that is Backyard Butcher. We introduced them to our audience last week, and we want to talk about them again this week, man. They are making gold medal quality meat. I'm talking steak, chicken, and pork, all with free shipping. And it's restaurant quality, dude. They have steak boxes that you can get available online, and they're responsibly sourced from American farms, and they deliver them right to your door. And I know there's a lot of other companies that do the same, but man, they're giving listeners of the Kurt Angle Show a great deal right now. 15% off, free shipping, and 4 free ribeyes for life if you subscribe to Backyard Butchers. Kurt, you and I got a box of their meat right before Christmas, and we were both impressed.
Yeah, they were vacuum packed. The steaks were incredible. The hamburger, the chicken, the pork was incredible. I'm almost done with all mine. They sent me a truckload.
I know. It was so good.
Every day. Yeah. It's great for my diet too.
Yeah, a lot of protein. And guys, you can tell we're both all in. They shipped a variety of burgers and steaks to us. And man, the best part, it's cuts out the entire middleman, the grocery stores, right out of this whole process. It's 100% American beef, pork, and chicken, as I said, sourced from farms all across the heartland of America. And another fun fact, Kurt, is the guys that are behind this company are wrestling fans, just like the rest of us. So let's support them and let's really do whatever we can to help that business and enjoy some great food. And so check it out. This is the way to do it. Backyardbutchers.com. Use promo code ANGLE. It's very easy to remember. Get 15% off your order, free shipping, and 4 free ribeyes for life. Again, backyardbutchers.com, promo code ANGLE. And if you don't do it, Kurt's going to come put you in an Olympic chokehold. You get 15% off your order, free shipping, and 4 free ribeyes for life. And we want to thank Backyard Butchers for supporting the Kurt Angle Show.
Amen, brother.
Kurt, to go home smacked out in Tacoma, you're scheduled to team with Eddie, but you're attacked and injured just like Eddie was 2 weeks ago. And as you're down, Eddie's hovering over you when the mariachi music started playing, and Lesnar cuts this amazing promo on Eddie about his drug addictions. Looking back at your issues, does this type of stuff hit differently now for you, Kurt?
Well, Brock saying what he did, as an addict, you get a little bit offended. But Eddie was okay with it. And Eddie had peace. He was at peace with his addiction. He got through it. He was able to continue on every day, staying clean. He did tell me a lot about his past, and it was really cool that Eddie actually spoke to me, privately about it. I really enjoyed listening to him. This is before my addiction. So I can relate to what Eddie was trying to say, but Eddie being open to me made me be open to everyone else. So I talk freely about my addiction as well.
Man, that's great. And you got to think too, I'm just going to put this out there. As you started to battle your demons, Kurt, and come through and go through the rehab and get clean, I'm sure that your mind went back to some others in your life that you knew that had the same struggles, and probably kind of helped inspire you a little bit along the way that, hey, this is the reason I want to get clean and I want to be there for my family. I saw what happened to Eddie Guerrero and people that really dealt with this, Oh,
I had it in my family. A lot of people in my family. My father was an alcoholic, and he was a very functional alcoholic, and he was actually a good guy, but he had to have his booze. But my sister died of a heroin overdose. So it hits close to home for me. And, being in a family where there have been a lot of people involved with, having taking drugs, it really rings true that, recovering is such a blessing.
It is, man. And I'm so happy for you, and so happy that you've been, 11 years? Is it 11 years?
Yeah, 11 years clean and sober. Yes, sir.
All right, let's give it up for Kurt Angle, man. So awesome. And I know your family's just loving every single minute of it.
Oh, I've become an awesome father and incredible husband.
If you don't believe him, just ask him.
At least I think I have.
That's right. All right. Well, let's continue the story here. I love that happy ending. Guerrero and Cena beat Show and Lesnar in 17 minutes, 29 seconds. This is Dave Meltzer. This was not good by WWE main event standards. Cena was in most of the way, and it was mostly on the ground, and he's inexperienced, and that it didn't look good when it was off the ground. Granted, he's working on a torn MCL. Wow. So there you go. How close was Cena from putting the last pieces of the puzzle together here, you think, Kurt, as a performer?
Well, John was still a tad bit green. He was getting the hang of it, though. He was really improving every week. His promo skills were off the charts. His look was off the charts. He just had to work a little bit on his wrestling skills. But with the bum knee, the MCL injury, that was limiting him at this particular time, and that's why that match didn't turn out so well.
Again, we're talking about the go-home episode of SmackDown here. Guerrero would get the win after a low blow and use Cena's steel chain, and you also came down and hit Cena and Show with steel chair shots as well to build everyone's match at No Way Out. So that's how we're going to close it out. You assume they were the ones who hit you with the steel chair, but that's the build to No Way Out. That's what they decided to do. Are you excited? Are you looking forward to this big three-way match with you, John, and Big Show?
Yes, I looked at it as a challenge because I had the Giant in the ring. Okay, that's a challenge. And John Cena with the MCL injury. I love challenges. And if you're going to tell me that I can't have a 5-star match with these guys, you're freaking crazy. And that's what I tried to do.
I can't wait. We're going to read what Meltzer gave it when you said 5 stars. We'll see what he rated it. We want to pause this episode of the Kurt Angle Show to tell you about something Kurt and I are super passionate about, and that's great seafood and steaks. Yes, you heard me right. You know I love food. Kurt likes food when he's not dieting, and he does have his cheat meals, but you're not going to get a better meal than at jimmysfamousseafood.com. If you're a fan of the wrestling podcast, you've heard Conrad talk about it, and many of the other wrestlers. Their pictures are hanging up all over the wall in Jimmy's Famous Seafood, and right now we have a deal for you. Jimmy's Famous is going to be a hit at your party, so listen. Free 2-day nationwide shipping on orders over $125. All you got to do is use the promo code ANGLE. That's it. Promo code ANGLE, and you can take advantage of that free 2-day nationwide shipping. Now, it excludes steamed crabs and fresh items, but listen what you can choose from. I'm talking Maryland crab cakes, soups and chowders, oysters, signature steaks. They have so many different items. I'm talking barbecue spare ribs, wings, crab dip. And the sleeper item, their crab cake egg rolls. You haven't had anything that good. I'm telling you, I love it. I get it every time I go there. They have packages that you can buy. They have their famous gift box. That includes 4 of the world's best colossal Maryland crab cakes, crab soups, crab dip, seafood seasoning, the whole 9 yards. They have a tailgate bundle that includes those wings and ribs I talked about, plus that crab cake mix. They've been featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives, Beat Bobby Flay, and so much more. And there's a reason for that. They've been in business for 40 years. It's a fantastic company. It's a fantastic place to eat. And they're going to bring it to your doorstep, freezing cold, ready to go for you to make some fantastic food and be the hero at your next party. Take advantage of it now. Jimmy'sFamousSeafood.com, promo code ANGLE. There is a promo at No Way Out between you and Cena where Cena comes up to you and said he would never do anything to your back, but just to your face. You could see the charisma with John early on, man. But, man, he's full of confidence in his talking. But then again, he's good when he slaps you in the face, isn't he?
Yeah. That son of a bitch slapped me hard.
You guys scuffle to help build the match, but without Show involved, do you think he needed to be?
No, he's the Giant. He's a Big Show. He's a threat as it is. I think they were just trying to get John a little more heat or a little more babyface shine, whatever it was. But they wanted to do something for our match. So they had John and I, help
you guys mixed it up
along. Yes.
Yeah. Let's get to the ending of the Angle versus Cena versus Show match. And then I'll read what Dave Meltzer had to say about it. Here we go.
Oh boy.
Big Show writhing, screaming in pain. Will Big Show tap out? Will Kurt Angle be going to Mania? Those signs of Kurt Angle letting go of that hold. Big Show trying to grab the referee. Anything for leverage here. Right flat in the middle of the ring. Kurt Angle may break the ankle of the Big Show. Hold money. Hang on, Show. Hang on, big man.
Big Show ever so dominant.
You want to go to Mania?
And Big Show countered.
Wow, man. Big Show having a wherewithal to get out of it. Oh,
Spinebuster. Cena planting Kurt Angle.
It is 5-knuckle shuffle.
Connecting for John Cena. John Cena is beginning to build here. Second Cena's adrenaline's rolling.
Could be the second win for John Cena. Second win is in. Can't see me. Maybe an FU.
The FU, and look at that. Oh, Big Show went right to the injured knee of John Cena. How wise was that of the Big Show?
You cannot get much wiser if you're the Big Show. Big Show was down on the mat. And not only wise, Cole, but Big Show was desperate, but got that injured knee.
And look at Big Show picking John Cena up.
John Cena's in trouble.
Knee first into the turnbuckle.
Wow, how vicious.
Look at Kurt Angle going for a German suplex. Kurt Angle knocked out of the way by Big Show.
One elbow and that grip was counted. And now look at Angle.
Angle slam over the top rope. Kurt Angle measuring John Cena. Takes the knee out. Now the ankle lock. Now the ankle lock.
Kurt's got that thing leg bound and ankle lock. Cena is in trouble.
And it's the bad knee. John Cena taps out. Kurt Angle is going to WrestleMania.
Here's your winner and the #1 contender, Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle showing he takes advantage when opportunity knocks. Big Show did the damage. Kurt Angle took the reward.
It still brings a smile to your face when you see you beat John Cena, doesn't it?
Anytime I beat John Cena, you know what? We had some incredible matches, and we probably faced each other 100 times. And it felt like we beat each other 50 times each. It was like even all the time.
Meltzer said Kurt Angle earned the Mania title shot in a three-way over Big Show and John Cena in 12 minutes, 18 seconds. Cena didn't get nearly the pop you'd think, coming out with a Willie McCovey jersey. Angle largely carried it with Show's limitations and Cena's bad knee. There you go. That's some nice comments. Show did two leg...
Yes.
Yeah, we'll take that. Show did 2 leg drops to Cena. Angle hit 3 German suplexes on Cena, but Show saved. Cena gave Show an FU and Angle a DDT, but Show got his foot on the rope. Angle hit the Angle slam, but Show kicked out. Angle used the ankle lock at times on both men. Finish saw Angle throw Show over the top rope to the floor, and that's a lot of weight taking a bump over the top. Show had taken out Cena's leg, and then Angle used the Lang ankle lock to get the tap. Meltzer gave it 3 stars, not 5.
Oh, man. It should have been at least 4 stars. Come on, Dave.
What do you remember of the match? Do you have any memories of this match?
I loved it. The match flowed well for a triple threat, especially with John Cena having a bum knee and Big Show being a big son of a bitch. I thought this match flowed really well. It was one of my favorite triple threat matches, at least in my top 3.
Yeah. Well, listen, as long as you're happy with it, that's all that matters, Kurt, because this is your show, damn it. And he's happy.
The fans should be happy with it. We have to ask the fans.
Well, listen, I have never seen so many questions come in for this show like I have.
All right.
Wait till you see this. So listen, I know. So listen, we have to show the ending because I think it's appropriate that we show Eddie's big win, the crowning achievement, becoming WWE champion, our final clip of the week. So we're going to show it right here on the show. Here we go.
Down. Eddie Guerrero has that title in his hand. Eddie Guerrero, championship gold.
Well, this won't be fair for you. This is not the champ. It's not his title.
Eddie Guerrero going to do anything he can to win the title. Eddie Guerrero measuring Brock Lesnar, the champion.
But wait, this ain't right. This is not right.
Eddie Guerrero with the gold in his hand.
No.
Eddie Guerrero measuring Brock Lesnar. The WWE Championship is on the line.
No, Brock, watch out. Watch your back.
Lesnar to his feet.
Wake up, Hebner. Wake up, ref.
Eddie Guerrero measuring the champion. This for the championship. Shot to the midsection again, and Eddie Guerrero knocked to his knees.
Lesnar so smart, so quick.
And Brock Lesnar lifting Eddie Guerrero.
I told you, Cole. Here it comes, Cole.
Counter. Out of the goal. Out of the goal. Out of the goal. Eddie Guerrero, DDT, out of the championship gold.
You cheated. Eddie Guerrero cheated with that move.
Come on, Eddie. Come on, Eddie. Eddie to the top rope.
Eddie cheated.
Frog splash. Frog splash. Come on, Eddie. Get Eddie, do it.
new WWE champion. Oh my God! Wow! I can't believe it! For the first time in his career, Eddie Guerrero is WWE champion. Wow! Eddie Guerrero's mother, Eddie Guerrero's brother, Mondo in attendance to watch Eddie Guerrero climb the mountain. Well, I'll tell you, Eddie Guerrero worked his ass off for so many years. I'll tell you, Eddie Guerrero did it, and that's Eddie's mom right there. Eddie Guerrero, wow, hugging his mother at ringside. How proud of the Guerrero family of Eddie Guerrero. Tears streaming down the face of Mondo and Eddie's mother. I can't believe it. Eddie Guerrero, everything that Eddie Guerrero has been through in his career. Everything Eddie's been through in his life. Eddie Guerrero with a standing ovation here in San Francisco. And not for nothing, Cole, it's well deserved. There it is.
Man, that was a little emotional.
I got teary-eyed.
Yeah, wow. Seeing his mom cry like that and them hug.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? This was the perfect venue. I do remember this. I believe it was San Francisco, or pretty close to San Francisco.
Yeah, it was.
And,
Cow Palace,
it
I
was a
believe.
very large Hispanic following. So this was the perfect venue for Eddie. For him to win the world championship. A lot of Hispanic people were in that building.
Buddy, that's wow. That was a little more emotional than I think I was ready for. But I think looking back at it now, realizing how big of a moment that was, that's the pinnacle in terms of him winning the world championship right there. We just watched together, and his mom just tears rolling down her face. Do you miss Eddie, Kurt?
Yes, very much. Eddie and I were like brothers. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. We fought like brothers and we loved like brothers. We beat the shit out of each other. I mean, we even got a couple of fist fights. So but Eddie was special, man, and he was so genuine, such a good-hearted guy. Everybody loved him. Everybody adored Eddie Guerrero, and R.I.P. Eddie. He's awesome.
It shouldn't have been, do you miss him? It should be, how much do you miss him? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's really what it is.
I just started crying just watching him win.
I know.
I missed him.
Wow, that was unbelievable. So good. There's a lot of fan questions, as I said. We have some time here, so we'll go rapid fire and try to knock these all out. Lots of questions. We'll start with Jeremy Priest. He says, we have a lot of great guys listening to the show, and I just want to say thank you all for contributing to the show with great questions. He said, how special was it to see Eddie win his first world title? Also, how did the locker room react?
You know what? The thing is, Eddie wasn't supposed to win. He was an undersized individual. When he came to WWE, there was no chance in hell of him winning the world championship, and he did it. And the reason is because he proved himself every week, every year. Vince McMahon saw him getting better and better, and just entertaining the fans and becoming a huge superstar. That there was no reason for Vince to ever not give the title to him. And eventually, Eddie got his chance, and look what he did. He embellished it. And he ended up being the world champion, but he deserved this. He deserved this for years. It was a long time coming for Eddie. It should have came earlier.
Zol Lopez almost piggybacks the same exact question, our buddy Zol, and he says, how was it backstage? Do you remember that night? Was it like a buzz of the locker room, just really excited for him?
Yeah, you know what? It was more emotional than anybody else winning the title. For some reason, Eddie winning it meant a lot more than anybody else.
Yeah. Wow, man, that's awesome. Brad Stanton's up next, and he says, is Hardcore Holly underrated? So we got still another Hardcore Holly question, but do you think he's underrated?
Oh, of course. I think Hardcore Holly should have been pushed a lot more than he was. He was really good in the ring. I mean, one of the best I've ever been in the ring with. Very physical, and he had great in-ring psychology. I just feel like Bob Holly should have been pushed at least he should have been in the title hunt, at least a main event of a pay-per-view. And I don't think Bob ever was.
Right. All right. Next up we have is Mike. And this is more around the championship belt. So I don't know if you noticed there, the Undisputed Championship that he's holding there. He says, what did Kurt think of the Undisputed Championship design at this time? Did you like the design of that belt?
Yeah, I did love the belt, but I liked the Eagle belt better.
The Big Eagle?
Yeah. That was my favorite title. That was my first title. But the Undisputed Championship belt was pretty impressive too.
He said, has there ever been a title so bad, maybe so ugly, that you weren't proud to hold it?
Yeah, the hardcore title.
There you go. That makes a lot of sense. There you go. Yeah. Our buddy Yambag Jones, he's up next. He says, on the Go Home SmackDown before the pay-per-view, Eddie delivered one of the greatest and realest promos ever on addiction and getting my high, is what he talked about. What did you think when you heard it? And what was the reaction backstage? That promo still gives me goosebumps to this day.
Well, everybody knew Eddie meant it. I mean, it was everything to Eddie. This was it. You know, him overcoming the addiction and ended up winning the world championship. This is what Eddie's life was all about. He lived for wrestling. His family had a promotion in Mexico. Eddie grew up a wrestler. He was expected to do great things, and eventually he did. He won the WWE championship. Not many people in the world can say that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Bobby KF5 GTX, by the way, that was his call sign when he was on the radio. For those that always wondered why in the world what is that? Well, I asked Bobby and he told me. He said, thank you, Kurt and Paulie B, for another great show. This is one of my favorites on ad-free shows. Well, thank you, Bobby. He said, what was your relationship like with Bob Holly? In the Click Rules documentary, Scott Hall cited him as one that they thought that could definitely go. So what was your relationship like with Bob?
Bob and I were real close. We even got closer after I broke his arm, believe it or not. We had such a great relationship, and we had a mutual respect for each other. We loved working each other. We enjoyed being around each other. Bob, I didn't hang out with him and go to restaurants with him all that much, but being at the building with Bob, I enjoyed his company. He was a really good guy.
All right, next up is Matt Shandravasi, and this question's about the Cow Palace in San Francisco, which we were just talking about. He says, other shows on the ad-free network have often said the Cow Palace is a tough building to perform in. Some have even called it a dump. He said, I grew up in the Bay Area. The Cow Palace was home to fond memories for me. And am I just seeing things with rose-colored glasses or what? Do you remember anything of that building, Kurt?
You know what? It was an old building. There's no doubt about it. Was it a dump? No, I wouldn't say that. I think the Cow Palace is famous.
Yeah.
I mean, it was San Francisco's arena. And a lot of history has been in that building, a lot of wrestling history. And Eddie was one of them. He actually won the world title there. And that was a really special night for Eddie. And it's just another feather in the cap of the Cow Palace of all the wrestling events they've had and they succeeded in.
Do you have any specific memories, he asks, of wrestling in the Bay Area? Anything that you can recall from your time in wrestling from San Francisco or the Bay Area?
Oh, man, that's hard. It's hard for me to think about my past.
You've been up and down so many roads, they all blend together, don't they?
You know what? Yeah, doing 300 days a year, 300 shows a year, it's kind of hard to remember everything.
We'd have to dig in the archives and try to find some cards of when you were there, but I totally understand. Hey, Matt, thanks for the question, dude. Joey, the Tori Amos guy, says, do you know you are the last person to defeat John Cena by submission? Did you know that?
Wow. Hey, well, I know that John hasn't tapped out a lot in his whole career, but I do know that I made John tap out a couple of times, which I'm very proud of. It shows that I'm a dominant individual in the wrestling ring.
So listen, Joey, I don't, we didn't get that fact check or whatever, but we're going to go with you that Kurt is the last person to defeat John Cena by submission. There you go. There's a nugget.
Okay. That's another feather in my cap, I guess.
We're going to have to add that to your intro. I like it. Bryant Haremza, our buddy's up next. Do you think this match would have been better had it been a one-on-one match between you and John Cena? And do you think Big Show was added because Cena was not a big enough star yet?
Whether Cena was a big enough star or not, we would have had an incredible match. Obviously, we would have had a better match because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm better at singles matches than I am triple threat matches. It has nothing to do with Big Show because Big Show can go. He can jump up for you. He can do whatever you need him to do. Big Show is not a nuisance to wrestle. He's actually pretty good. He's really good in the ring, a great athlete for his size. But I think John and I would have had a better match because it would have been a singles match.
Yeah, and you, like you said, you flourish in those. Obviously, yeah, John too has a.
You can't control a triple threat. Yeah.
And John here has a MCL injury, so it probably helps out that it's triple threat in the grand scheme of things. Great question, Bryant. Brandon's up next. Do you think a Mania rematch with Brock was on the cards if he wasn't set to leave? And do you think that match would have been bigger than the one against Eddie? So
honestly, I was expecting Brock and I to have a rematch at WrestleMania. That's what I was expecting before this whole thing with Eddie transpired. So I'm not surprised that Eddie won. I agree with the decision to do that, but I think that there were probably previous plans of Brock and I to go at WrestleMania again, and this time I was supposed to beat him instead of losing to him.
James Chadwick Chad Simpson, who's very kind and has been a big promoter of our show on social media, Kurt. He says, hey, Kurt and Paul. Kurt, at the No Way Out 3 years earlier, you were on a WWF promotional poster for, I believe, the first time. My question is, when did you find out you were going to be on the poster? Is there any grand unveiling? And do you get any extra pay for being a poster boy?
No, that pay goes because if you're on the poster, you're most likely in the main event, so you're going to get paid a lot of money anyway.
There you
but
go.
You don't get money for being on the poster, but it's actually good. It's great exposure for you, so you want to be on the poster.
That's kind of cool. Did you ever get copies of posters where you were the cover boy or anything like that? Did they get? Did you grab them?
They sent me a few different copies of different pay-per-views, and I kept them. I'm actually going to put them up in my office when I get my new office. I'm not going to put it up here. Well, you can see I'm already clearing stuff out. Look,
because the angles are moving, ladies and gentlemen. They're staying what? Like you're just moving 10 minutes away. So you're still in Pittsburgh. So, but I can't wait to see the new office. You'll get to see his new background. It's going to be a lot of fun. Brian is up next. He says, what are some of your favorite qualities whenever wrestling Cena, Big Show, and Eddie individually? Are there certain things that you like about them as performers that you really enjoy, certain qualities?
Eddie came up with incredible ideas for matches, incredible spots, incredible finishes, false finishes. He was really good at that stuff. Big Show was just an incredible athlete. And you go in that ring, I mean, the guy was a giant in WCW. He was drop kicking people. I mean, that shows how incredible athlete he was. John Cena, I loved his rapper gimmick. That's where he really shined. That's where the fans really absolutely enjoyed him and loved him. They adored him for that. And that's what got him over.
There you go. We had Eric Petronas. He said, man, I'm a massive fan of your show, Kurt. Big fan of the podcast. He asked the same question, though, so we won't go there because it was about Brock Lesnar again, about the rematch for the title at Mania for the second year in a row. You let us know. You kind of thought that might be the story, too, but they decided to go with Eddie for whatever reason. Was there ever any conversation with you about a potential rematch with Brock, or is it just because they know he was headed out?
No, I know the writers were considering it, but because he was heading out, they wanted to take it off him before WrestleMania.
Okay. Let's see here. Wrestling Match Study Podcast. In what stipulation would you have loved to wrestle Eddie Guerrero in Mania 20 for the WWE title?
You know what? I was happy with just the
straight up wrestling match.
That's what I'm good at. That's what I'm best at. You can put me in a cage. You can have a table, ladders, chair match. I'm not going to do that. Too many crazy things there. But, when it comes down to it, what I like to do is wrestle. And, I don't like gimmicks. That's just the way I am.
No gimmicks needed, Kurt Angle. All right, we're going to ask one or two more, and then we'll close the show down, Kurt. Keith Hellebrand said, did Cena run his raps by you beforehand, or did you hear it for the first time when you were in the ring? You've told me this before. He didn't run him past you, did he?
No, he never did. He wanted to be a surprise. He wanted to get your normal reaction of what you thought about it when you were out there. So John never told anybody the stuff that he was going to say. I'm not even sure if he even told the writers. I know that they had to know because they had to have approval from Vince that whatever he said. So they did know, but nobody else did. John just did his thing.
Got two more, and then we're going to close it down. Instagram Wrestling Historian just wants to make sure that you know where. And if he's saying it, this is definitely true, Kurt. How does it feel to be the last wrestler to make John Cena tap out? So he's confirming it. He's the wrestling historian. So there's that. And then Fernando Diaz, our last question. Has Kurt ever used Eddie's gimmick in real life to get out of anything? And he's talking lie, cheat, or steal.
I think we've all done that. There's no doubt about it. I think everybody has lied, cheated, or steal at one point in their life. So,
there you go. What a fun way to end the show. Listen, hey, next week we're going to discuss your time on the Indies, Kurt Angle. We're going to have some fun with that. So that's going to be fun. Guys, listen, remember, check out all of Kurt's past top Impact moments at impactwrestling.com. We've stated it here before. That's where he spent the bulk of his career, tearing the houses down in the Impact Zone. And you can sign up impactwrestling.com/packages and sign up with the code Kurt. That helps us out tremendously, and they're adding content constantly to that. The other thing I want to put over is adfreeshows.com. We talk about it every week, but Kurt and I have decided that this month, our bonus content, we're going back to watch him versus the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, when they were on the Indies together. Kurt, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, that was my short 8 months on the indie scene. I enjoyed wrestling with Cody. I actually wrestled him 3 times, to be honest.
Yeah, and we got one of them. We're going to do a watch along, and Kurt and I are going to do that on ad-free shows. So check it out. A lot of great content over there. Make sure you check out boxofgimmicks.com. Find that Kurt Angle show. I showed you guys at the top of the show the poster, but Dominic D'Angelo is adding all kinds of designs over there. We're adding mugs, milk mugs, Kurt, pint glasses, all kinds of fun stuff over there for the Kurt Angle show. But let's jump into what you want to talk about, because they're all inside your hands right now, and that's those chicken snacks. Tell us about them.
You got chicken snacks and Smart Snacks crispy protein bites. One's chicken protein, the other one's organic plant protein. There are 11 different flavors. They're all delicious. You can order these at physicallyfit.com. If you use the code AnglePod, you get 20% off your order, or you can go on the website and be a lifetime member and get them get your 20% off for the rest of your life.
Man,
these are incredible. Wow. Some of the flavors are sriracha, honey barbecue, cinnamon swirl,
buffalo wing.
Buffalo wing is one of my favorites. You're gonna absolutely love these. You got
pizza.
Cheese pizza flavor. Yes.
Come on. I mean, they got so many flavors, and the scientists are in the lab mixing up some potentially more new ones. So you just never know.
We're thinking about coming out with some like, not candy flavor, but like vanilla and caramel and chocolate.
Oh, some dessert flavors.
Yeah, we're starting to do some desserts. Yeah.
I want to see Kurt Angle in a lab coat in there mixing up some flavors. I think that'd be a fun commercial for chicken.
This is what I wear in the lab.
Do you? That's your little lab jacket? I like it. Yeah. So physicallyfit.com, check it out. And then also check out kurtanglebrand.com. That's his official website where you can get the merch, the cameo videos where he's going to say, oh, it's true at the end. But he's going to say a lot of other stuff before that, whatever you want. And it's really fun. Birthdays, bar mitzvahs, whatever the case is that you want to celebrate, wedding events, if you want to pick on somebody, Kurt is game, and he's going to have a lot of fun. Don't you love those, Kurt?
Yeah, I tell a lot of people you suck. You do. To say that. Yeah.
Isn't it? What a society we live in where your most requested cameo is to tell someone they suck, I love it.
It's actually pretty awesome.
I love it. Well, listen, guys, we thank you so much for being a part of our show and participating. Lots of great questions. Again, next week, we're going to talk about Kurt in the Indies on behalf of your Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. This is Paul Bromwell. We'll see you right back here next week on The Kurt Angle Show.